Go to Odense, Betway, MSI, Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.
Astralis and HellRaisers still going head-to-head here in the lovely city of Odense for the ESL Pro League Season 8 Finals. We've been at this for an entire season, 15 days of regular match play, and now it's all culminated to this. And we have one team on the precipice of grabbing the Intel Grand Slam, but just ahead of them will be the HellRaisers, who are keeping it spicy here in one of the earlier matches of the group stages. And of course, to do all of this explanation, to break it all down here at the analyst desk will be Mr. Sponge and Mr. Pimp. Guys, we've got a pretty good best-of-3 on our hands.
I would say so. I think we got a much closer matchup here than we did on the first map. I think one of the things that were the big difference is the fact that Device all of a sudden woke up. I think to follow the sort of like the storyline we tried to build within the first map, where Voxit was doing pretty well. This game he had a first kill difference of -3, so he was not really getting it done with the AVP. He was not getting in there and getting the opening kills that he normally did. Whereas Device, on the other hand, got a first kill difference on +4 in this matchup. So there's quite a disparity of 7 right there between the two of them, and that was the difference mainly between the two players that we saw from the first map involving into Dust 2.
Sure, if we have to critique Astralis to the bar that we put them to, a lot of players' aim is looking very shaky in positions where they would normally be hitting shots. Now, sure, we had the pistol round over there on Dust 2 where the flash came over, but it's pistols in Counter-Strike. So we know that things, especially on the pistol rounds, sometimes the bullets just don't register. But they also, in my opinion, I think got lucky on occasion where the bomb drop spawn, there wasn't enough time to pick it up and go for the plant. There was a couple of rounds, like not by those same kind of variables, but also were close that Astralis actually had to get lucky and to get across the line here. So
I mean, the bomb one, for example, I believe it was Device that got the kill and the bomb drops into spawn, which, definitely doesn't set up a too big of a storytelling point for them to have needed to or should have won the round in the first place.
No, it's just a little bit unlucky, as Chad were mentioning. In some situations, you can sort of attest to the fact that also you would want HellRaisers to be a little bit more, how to say, like react a little bit more. I feel like they were hesitating a little bit. They were too slow in some of the ways they approached the game and sort of read the game in that regard. But that's when Astralis comes in, and as you said, you call it luckiness. I think if you're good, you get more lucky than the rest.
I think that in a match, of course, you need a little bit of that going your way. And Dead Fox over towards the B bomb site with this clip right here went from 9 ADR to an ace within the period of a round, right? And then he had another big round later on. So the thing is, 9 of his kills came from 2 rounds. He had that long push where he killed 3 players. He snuck through the smoke, obviously picked up the AWP, finished off Magix, who was lurking and being like late from that pit position. He actually had decent impact. He was the only player to go positive for HellRaisers in this matchup. But it felt like everybody from HR had their moments. Angel, everybody. I'm not going to name all 5 on the server, but everybody from HellRaisers had their moments in making this a close affair.
Kind of like this round where they flashed through the smoke.
That's the one,
Pure aggression out that long A corridor. Definitely saw where you got Astralis off guard with that one. But, that's the way she goes sometimes, Chad. Sometimes she goes, sometimes she doesn't. That's the way this game works, and that's the way the numbers start to break themselves down. Guys, who are some players that stick out to you in a highlight manner that might not necessarily speak for the numbers, but who really showed some true test here to the time?
I think Magix, even though the numbers does speak for him, was showing off right here. He had a very rough first map. He was the baddest rated players, or the worst rated player on Astralis, and all of a sudden he comes in here and does 2 and just finds it. Obviously Sipnik as well with that very important pistol round you were alluding to as well. It was a little bit lucky, I would say, from Astralis. There was a lot of missed bullets, but he stepped up basically and got the clutches when needed the most. So the sort of like known quantities of Astralis sort of stepped up here when it was needed the most.
Well, Chad, I think that we actually get to play around with some of these cool tools again, so I think you take the charge on this and get to draw on.
So here's just a way that Astralis played off of information in their rotation so they could hedge their bets accordingly. If we just look at this setup right here, you can see they just have the standard 2 towards B. They've got the standard A setup with the AWP watching Cat and Zipnik supporting, and then the long anchor. Now, what I want to point out here is the fact that there's currently no information for them, and the only player who's not in trade potential is actually Glaive, who we're going to focus on here, who takes a bit of a risk over towards long. So I'm just going to highlight his screen as we start playing this out. He's about to use a grenade as the smoke is fading to be a little bit of a combo so he can push in and he can actually catch Hobbit off guard. What I want to note from this kill, as soon as he makes this, you can see here, just let me focus on Zipnix right now, who is going to cheat over towards spawn. So with the jiggle peeking that's going to come in from Glaive towards the long position, they have enough information to rotate over expecting a mid to B. This is where we can transition our focus. Dupree now gets close up a dark. He's being more assertive in this position, knowing there's no attack over towards long. Magix is going to set up a crossfire with Zipnix. So in this setup right here, as soon as Zipnix spots anybody come up mid to B, Magix Boy can swing, and then he can also help Dupree. What's actually going to play out in this round is it will be a mid to B split with most of the attack coming through upper dark. But as we can see, if you're just looking at Dupree's in the left-hand side of this, that he's going to get first contact, going to have to drop back, and that's where the crossfire with Magix Boy really comes in. So this is a three-pronged kind of defense over towards this side of the map that was all given off of Glaive's information towards Pit. So the highlight of it will play out right now. Here you're going to see the kills come in. Dupree gets 1, Magix gets 2, and Zipnix gets 1 on the mid to B.
And it all kind of falls in a row like dominoes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? When you have a setup like that and you can play off your teammates, that's really the goal. That's what you want to have. That's perfect. That's picture perfect right there.
And I think this is a perfect example of why we sometimes, we talk about Dust 2 being this map where it's not normal, the most strategical map, but it is, if you play it like this, if you play off each other and if you use that communication set that Astralis has, it becomes one of those maps where you can win rounds and win games just by being better at communicate and being better at understand the game.
Well, one guy that's definitely been the papa of the team, the Papa Bear, is standing by with James Banks. Let's go ahead and check in to hear what the Astralis side has to say going into this third map.
That's right, I got Zonic from Astralis, and they've just managed to make it a 1-1 scoreline against HellRaisers. Now, looking at the first map that went through you guys' minds, obviously HellRaisers, slightly different team to what the usual lineup is. What do you think went wrong on Mirage?
Oh, that's 1 map ago. We just played those 2, but yeah, I think everything was just not clicking, and we were even lucky to get, I think it was 7 or 8 rounds as T, with the Glaive clutching a couple of times. But no, it's been a weird day today. People are a bit tired and probably still jet lag from ECS last week. So, yeah, also HellRaisers are playing really good, and you can see that they are playing well with Hobbit. So also credit to them. But yeah, we managed to come back with a tough fight on those 2, and hopefully we can go all the way now on Inferno.
Good luck. We'll look forward to see it all happening on Inferno. You're hearing from the man who's the brains behind the operation. Let's see if Astralis can close this out 2-1, or how much of a battle HellRaisers are going to give them.
Yep, HellRaisers definitely giving them a run for their money as of now, but now we need to switch over and start looking at the third map of the series, which is Inferno. Guys, going toe-to-toe with Astralis anywhere isn't necessarily anybody in the current landscape wants to find themselves, but going into Inferno, I feel like the HellRaisers probably feel like they might have a shot here.
This is another map, right, where you could potentially push Astralis if their economy's not going, and we've seen already that Zonic just said that it's a bit of a weird day. Well, there have been a lot of weird rounds, and they haven't been on point to the same standard that we hold them to time and time again. But also, HellRaisers individuals are stepping up, and they're playing very well. They're clicking right now. This is a fantastic time to be meshing. So I think if you look at HellRaisers' recent results, they did beat big on this map at Supernova Malta, which is a good thing to keep in mind. Recent results is maybe something we should be looking into. But they're going to need to find the form of the players more so on that first map. Get Voxic back online because, look, we know Inferno's not necessarily a hugely AWP-heavy map, but the way that he can play it, they can definitely make it work.
He's a door opener, a game changer.
Yeah, definitely, and he needs to step up if they want to have any chance. On the other half, is a little bit more. I think Astralis have a decent chance of taking this quite comfortably. I think Inferno is one of those maps where you can get away with not being on point aim-wise. You can get away with not being, feeling it completely, because it's all about trading off each other. It's all about playing with each other, and especially the grenade usage, as we always talk about with Astralis, they're still on point with the hits. They may not be hitting their shots right now. They may not hit those sick individual peaks right now, but as long as they play the game and they think as well as they normally do, they're going to have a tough time, or HellRaisers that is going to have a tough time to go up against Astralis. I think Inferno is, just to outline it a little bit, I think Inferno is one of those maps where you can get away with the most being weak at aiming. You can just play it smart, you can play it with your grenades, you can play it trading off your teammates, and you can get away with not hitting the first 2 or 3 bullets, because Inferno is one of those maps where you just got to trade all the time.
I think, HellRaisers have only played this map 3 times together with the Hobbit in the lineup. And just looking at the stats right now, Issa and Voxic are the top 2 names, which is what you would expect. But Angel's coming in within that 3rd spot. This is just on their rating over those 3 games. Now, it's hard to read into a lot with that. But we obviously know that Issa and Voxic are the ones who need to be the backbone, with everybody else just contributing. In a match which was just close, they shouldn't have lost any faith, right? They should still be very confident in being able to take this series. It's not like they cooled. It's not like they just got completely blown out of the water. So they're more than, I guess, they're more than a challenge and more than a chance in this one. I don't see Astralis waking up and now 16-1-ing them by any means. It doesn't feel like they've they're back in the game that much.
Well, even if the HellRaisers turned and took a look back at that last map, there's no way they can have their heads tilted down going into the third one here. It's going to be Inferno between Astralis and the HellRaisers, and it's going to be two guys with the gift of the gab to deliver it to us. It's going to be that of Henry G and Sadicus. Take it away, guys.
You can almost hear the contempt in his voice when he has to say my name. He's like, Henry G, and oh, that guy. No.
Well, he said something nice, at least. So
It's true. It was actually very nice. It's going to be Astralis HellRaisers. This will be the decider for who tops the group and who goes through to the playoffs. The unfortunate person who succumbs. Look at your beautiful jacket.
I know, brand new jacket. It actually is very nice. They've done a lovely job with these. Look at the quality and the finish.
You
nice
just
and
wanted to
warm.
touch me. This is okay. All right. Okay.
Nice big muscles
yeah.
as well. Perfect. Anyway, yes, we do have Inferno. Great jackets on. We're here in for the first day of Odense. We've been here before. Second time we've had Pro League Finals.
And unfortunately for those of the team, the team that doesn't win this, they'll be able to play tomorrow. It's not an elimination match for them by any stretch, but obviously winning this now and getting further into the event as a result of it, pretty significant. Astralis managed to survive Dust 2 after getting blown out by all stretch of imagination on Mirage, 16-8. The first time they've lost a game like that since Chicago, and that was in the group stages as well. And on top of that, HellRaisers, I think for them, winning this series means a lot more because getting deep for them right now with roster changes, it just avoids a whole lot of potential catastrophe otherwise.
They've always been a team that's been pretty handy at getting to playoffs. Never super deep in tournaments, but they've always get to like the top 8, it seems. And if they could get there today, that'd be fantastic. But right now in Inferno, I'm thinking it's probably not going to. The fact that Astralis is just so good on this map, there was questions around as to why they allowed Dust 2 to come into that second map, but still, they win it. And Inferno is the perfect close for them. Maybe if it was Dust 2 in the third map, we'd be like, wow, this could actually fall apart. But Inferno, I'm saying it's like a 75% favor and towards Astralis at this point, and HellRaisers would have to pull something amazing out of the bag to stand a chance against the very efficient and well-oiled machine that is the CT side, especially.
In what was, just to make note, what was an elimination game, Renegades Vici.
Yes.
Renegades has 2-0'd that, so Vici has departed. We've got HellRaisers Astralis now, as we've been talking about, and as you're well aware. And G2 Ints, I think we're playing on the secondary stream at this point in time. So we've got a number of games going on, not to mention we've got Big Liquid coming up after this.
Oh, we absolutely do. That's going to be a good game as well.
We saw them play in the semifinal in Malta, actually. And for a moment in time, it looked like Big was potentially going to win that series, which would have been a huge problem for Liquid. Being the favorites in that event that they were, they ended up pulling off the victory.
A second trophy of the year.
Yep.
Would sound surprising to say. They won CS Summit at the start, and now Malta as well. Plenty of grand final placements.
They want to win this.
Yes, this would be great for them if they can deny the Astralis $1 million as well in the Grand Slam. That's an extra 100K in their bank accounts. If that does happen that way, Astralis still have to get to the final, of course. But it's looking good right now as we get into the third and final map of this best of 3. Ladies and gentlemen, Astralis starting on the CT side. That does not bode well for the HellRaisers, but they've been very good at pistols so far. We'll see if they can pick this one up. They've got HE suggest they'll be rushing towards B at the very start and nading at the top. We'll see if that happens. There they are. And then presumably finishing up towards B. But the fact they've got no activity there whatsoever, they don't have to commit to this. They can get the B control and fall back. There's Rush. Give us a wave, Rush, please. There we go. Thank you so much. You're gorgeous. Anyway, we're stopping the rounds anyway. So all that build-up.
Well, let's bring Rush back up there.
Yeah, just keep him up.
Let's get him up there. I'm enjoying it. I think his beard looks divine on camera.
That's probably, he's born for the camera.
He's got a haircut, I noticed, to this event. He normally doesn't. Maybe it's he was like, all right, if I'm on camera,
I think that's exactly
Mom's going to see me. I need to get my first haircut in about 6 months.
Yeah.
Rush, can you give us a thumbs up if that's true?
Well, he's not
on camera. It doesn't matter. I was hoping he'd bring it back up just for that.
But that's a good call. That's probably some of the best analysis we've had all day.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Was it true? It was true. There it is. He knew.
I'm on camera. I've got to clean myself up. All right, I like it. I admire it.
Perfect. Well, it was just a small issue. We only had a TeamSpeak that was unmuted, apparently, or muted, whichever way you look at that. And we will be right underway. Are we going to... Hold on a second. Are we changing the bio, HellRaisers? Let's have a look. I want to see those two HEs again.
I don't think that there's nothing in the rules against that, just to make note.
No, of course not, but it's like a little bit sneaky. Like, well, we tried that, didn't do any damage, we won't do that again.
We weren't really, they weren't that far into it, but you're right. It is a little, you could say a little, maybe rude. I would even say it's not sportsmanlike. You can just make a decision based, because you could say as well, like, oh, we might have had something revealed, like, let's change the strategy, right? So fair is fair.
Yeah, no,
there's
right.
anything.
It's just just noticed it.
Sure. Glaive tagged. 9 HP only for him to work with at this point. And he will be inside of the B site. He goes deep. We've got different numbers throughout this this time. Glaive has been 0 for most of it. Don't be misled for anyone looking at the minimap. He's now number 5. So they've swapped them over, essentially. I wish there was a way in the series to keep it dead consistent the whole time. Rotation back around from Dupree. Hobbit's going to work out from the apartment position. Magisk is already as well a castle, as Chad calls it. He'll wait to swing, but he's already lost his teammate. Nade behind him. He doesn't move, which means they may start to consider him not being there, but they do check it either way. He gets only 1 kill. Hobbit with the return, and Dead Fox with the bomb will plant that open for pit, but safely inside of the site as well, so no one can from quad could sneak out on them, but no one will, as we see it. Astralis is going to save extremely early. It is the new money system, though, right? Yeah. Why give it up when if you're going to force buy in the next? You can't. You have to sit all the way till the 3rd now.
They've made a very wise and calculated decision that they're not going to win this round. They've got a defuse kit, flashbangs, 2 sets of armor. They are going to buy up next round with that in mind. They'll be able to get maybe a FAMAS to go with it, something like that. You know, we'll see what they have in store for us. I'd suggest it's probably going to be UMPs, the armor. See what they can do, have a bit of extra utility as they look for another frag kit. Device with the range advantage here. Any kills will come through. He actually is desperate to survive at this point. The thing is, if he doesn't die or take any damage, he can get head armor for 350, right? So he didn't want to take any damage there at all. So he gets CZ armor. He still has 1,200 in the bag, so he can get some grenades off that. And that was actually a very intricate detail there. He didn't want to take any damage towards the end, just so he could get that helmet. So here we go then. UMP, 4 CZs. They've got a bunch of utility. It's actually quite a scary round, all things considered. Astralis with CZs and utility on a map like Inferno. HellRaisers have looked weak against the pistols as well. They seem to be going too fast and getting too carried away with their momentum and not really working the way they should do against pistols. But we'll see what happens here. Round 2. Big one for HellRaisers.
Dead Fox holding out in the corner, smoke down in front of him. Watch for Angel. He'll redeploy a Molotov deeper, force the CTs back further inside of the site. So SMGs will take the approach. Glaive behind the bags. CZ snuck out after the utility, so this could catch them off. Potential for it. I think Angel's going to check that. He'll know the timings. Already checked the half wall, so that suggests to me he will look this direction and does. Dinked up, but that's fine. He's got the 1 kill on the UMP.
And that's what they needed there. Trade potential there. They're going slowly, making sure they check each corner and taking their time, more importantly, instead of rushing into a disadvantage. Well, less than a minute remaining. And yes, Angel's been tagged up, so is Dead Fox, but still looking good here. Dupree, though, he's going to be the danger man here. If he can find multiple kills of this CZ, which is definitely possible, it still could fall apart.
Crossfire potential certainly there. Waiting for smokes and flashes. Magisk stares at the wall. He's got both Dupree and Device in the sights. Good find, Angel. That takes out Zippix. That means the 2 in the site now have to consider the wrap as well. Oh my, it's worked out. Saving in the last round pays off. Look at Device and Magisk go. Dupree gets the last kill, but 2 for the others, and it's 1-1. With the loss of Arch, I didn't think that was going to happen.
Well, there you go. Never doubt Astralis in the CZ's map. They seem to deliver every single time on Inferno. As they lost the first pick as well, it all goes horribly wrong. I guess sometimes that's just the reputation they've got, these weapons, causes teams to be a little bit more tentative than usual, and you can see them not really getting the communications off that. They probably did, to be fair. It's just a very good setup from Astralis. They couldn't really account for absolutely everything. They go in one by one towards the end, and it all falls apart. They'll be forced buying in response, but Voxic down to 14 HP. The follow-up nade could find him. Oh, but it's going to do a lot of damage to Issa and Dead Fox regardless. So that's Zipex. He might not be aware of how much damage he's done, but there's an absolute ton of it. As we'll still have a 5-on-5 that is hovering around the underpass area now, changing the weapons up. Whoever's got low HP will be throwing their weapons over and giving the weapon to Hobbit, who still has 100. One of the few remaining.
Incendiary ready to go down. Just tries to back away and cover off toward the arch. Now swings out. Shot in from Hobbit. He'll take out Device, re-peeking it, but look at the HP. The battle is taking him everything. The life's been sucked from them. There's no armor for Angel, so they'll leave Hobbit on the AK. Only kill goes their way, but you might as well call it favor for Astralis for a number of reasons. One being weapons, one being time, another also being the fact that they are incredibly weak. Wouldn't take much. Good placed nade would take out 4 of them at this point.
Yep.
A well-placed nade, I should say. Right good English. Typix finds one already. That's the high HP player. So get ready for a slaughter. 18 seconds, Molotov toward the pit. Wrapping around. Bait out some shots for Dupree. But here comes Magisk, and round over. At any point now, and Magisk will find 3 of them. Zonic's loving it.
Of course he is. He knows that's a big one because they were forced for that round. Astralis 2-1, but could be a couple more added on, as HellRaisers will have nothing to work with here in round number 4. They got absolutely wrecked by Zipex. The initial spray through the smoke, that's a dangerous area of the map. Banana, then he follows up with an absolute orc nade towards the T-steps. Does about 100 damage between 2 players. And then Magus, like you said, they're already so low. He comes in with the follow-up here. Not the craziest frags, but it certainly builds his confidence up. Just getting a nice little sequence there to close it out. His coach will be very happy and rubbing his shoulders. That's always a lot of fun. As you'll see, 5 Glocks come out and a couple of flashbangs. Objective is try and get that plant down. But Device, he really isn't messing around as he pushes all the way towards T-Abs. Oh my god. This is be a bloodbath. He could get 5 players on his screen if they wait there any longer.
Imagine. All behind.
He
might get caught off on this, though. Oh, he's got 1. That's a knife if he wants it, but he wants the kills instead. MP9 looking for an ace with an MP9. Imagine that of all weapons. Does get 3 at the very least. Foxic falls off of it. He's got the kill in return, but as they fall off, look who else is going aggressive. Dupree. Magisk is well already in the window at Boiler. They'll take turns firing for the frags. The final one, and Magisk gets both. 2 more for him. Device shaking his head, almost disappointed that he didn't get all 5. Makes us 3-1.
Well, there you go. Normally not the most interesting rounds, but the fact Device gets that on his plate was certainly entertaining. It's round 5, and you can see, like, he could have got a bit further. He doesn't have the intel. There's 4 around the corner, so might as well get that kill. If he'd got all 5, that would have been so much fun, but not going to happen. But he still gets the AWP and a ton of money as well for those 3 kills. So AWP in hand. He's going to be heading towards middle this time. He doesn't cross over towards middle. He actually goes around quad and then challenges towards the bench. As you can see, the battle continues on this side of the map. Such a key area, and the nades can't be avoided, it seems. Voxic goes down to 16. They've done a little bit of damage there. And Molotov would just actually hold them off, to be honest, as Device spots one towards T-steps, tries to follow it up with a grenade. Actually going to be challenging again here. Brave to do so, but they haven't got an AWP to challenge him, so why not? Still a 5-on-5, just about.
Hobbit cutting out toward the banana position. This is an interesting setup as well. You got Zipex and Glaive firing over each other. VP stop works for 1, works for 2. Oh my goodness, Glaive gets a 3rd. Snaps over, Voxic goes down. They double smoke. It's a bit of a miscue on that, but it works. First time we've seen that off that set play work for that many kills. We've seen it work for 1 or 2 and then fading off in smoke. So Hobbit finally goes back to get the bomb. Issa, the only other player in it with him, is going to be up toward the apartments, and he's trying to figure anything out if he can at this point in time, but there's no need for Astralis to be aggressive or out of position, shall we say. Forward stance, so it's unlikely that this is going to get gifted anything at this point. 36 seconds. Hobbit's not moving. What do you reckon? Full save call from HellRaisers?
Pretty much what they can do at this point. They've been overrun here. And remember, this is Astralis on Inferno. Dust 2 thinking, yeah, they might be able to do this, but Inferno, Hobbit just come into the team a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure this is where they'll find the success. It was a great first map, but maybe that was just down to Astralis, as Zonic pointed out. Not really feeling their best today. Bit of residual jet lag, perhaps, and just getting warmed up into the series is looking very good for them now as they go 4-1. Issa and Hobbit will indeed to save their weapons. Device just jumping around. Knows he's safe. As the T's will hold on to their AKs, but that means they get no money. Issa and Hobbit with 0. As the loss bonus will get to its maximum point next round. I feel like they'll... Oh, the problem is, with those save 2 AKs, it actually makes things quite complicated now. That's why they'll take the time out, because do you force up now when you've got 2 AKs already? Or take the full eco and buy up next when you actually can? I guess they could go CZ armor with the 2 AKs. That would probably be the most logical thing to do. Angel's gone all in. He's gone for Tech 9. All nades, armor as well, so maybe that's the call. They're going to try and make this really work for them, but That setup, we've seen it before from Astralis a couple of times. This time it works amazingly well. It's an off angle, so even if the orb comes in and rescope in the corner, he's not going to be able to take both of them down, if any. So you can see how that works out. And obviously if the smoke comes down, you're still in position. So
4-1 Astralis.
oh, this is weird. So Angel invested all his cash. Dead Fox as well. Voxic, obviously the AWPer. PD50 saves a bit more, but they've really put themselves in an awkward spot now to recover. Bomb doesn't go down here. They could be hamstrung going forward.
Voxic maybe trying to get toward that 8LUP a little bit later on, but you're right, it's a weird purchase considering that not everyone has the same mentality of holding on to their money. Astralis 4-1. Pimp mentioned earlier that, you know, leaving Dust 2 in and not going to Inferno earlier for Astralis could have been key to the series falling apart. Now we still get there anyway, so
I guess it is keeping it interesting, you know.
I like interest.
When you get some.
That's why I have Tinder. I don't actually talk to anyone. I just like being matched.
You just want to know that people find you attractive.
It's a release of dopamine. Yeah, that's why I use fake pictures, right?
Not even you.
Not even me, but it just feels good to be liked, you know?
Yeah, fair enough. Can't argue with that. And he's just so good in this pit position. Not many teams can get him out of that, and oh my goodness, Glaive. Absolute beast right now. Look at this toying with them, Matt. As soon as they get that first kill, you think, right, we've got to stop him. And then you're getting attacked in the back, and there's just an absolute devastation here. Voxic left with a P250 armor. They fully invested into this round. They will get 3,400 into the next one. I will say that, but without the bomb plant, that doesn't really help them out too much. It'll be pistols again. I guess Voxic could... Oh, if he saves an AK here, that's not going to happen now. Dupree should take him down, gets another kill. If he saves the AK, that's great, but he won't get the loss bonus then. So might as well die at this point. Actually have more money than he does now.
Pretty much has to. And I think Astralis are a bit aware of that. Look at the perimeter. Nowhere for him to go, and 13 seconds left. They might try and actually take him down after the time is gone.
Oh.
Him being aware of it is going to go aggressive. The problem is he gets the kill on Zipic so concisely
Might as well.
that now there's 4 seconds left, but he's actually running toward... Ooh, good move to go back into the underpass. I was going to say running toward Device. He might still go down here. I don't think he's going to get there in time, Glaive. Oh, just about.
Dicey times. So Voxic has no cash now. He gets an AK, but that doesn't really help them out because they're not buying this round. He really could have done with the extra cash to actually make sure he hits the orb.
Right, exactly. He was the one that saved for that reason, and now he's the one that doesn't get any money. So it really goes against everything in the last round.
Well, there you go. There will be a partial buy around it. These guys focusing on Tech 9 instead of CZs. Angel and Ista, both with the Tech 9 equipped. I know it's coming back into fashion a little bit more now, but I've still yet to see a really compelling reason as to why you would take it over. I haven't seen a crazy sequence of events or a game that's really been swung by a Tech 9 play. Just the odd kill every now and then. It's not the weapon it used to be. Still has its place, so it seems.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what they wanted, right? Everyone to have their place. It's a very inclusive community at Valve. Weapons-wise, at least.
Yes.
As Angel comes back out from the logs position after being the third by nades. Astralis are normally very good in that position with nades. To be fair, Glaive,
there it is.
Removed. Wanted to get the smoke out. That costs him his life, and it is the Tech 9 on cue, it seems, but so too on a platter. Zipix has both Dead Fox, Voxic, and now Issa as he switches to the pistol to confirm the final kill. Just going to be one player remaining, and that is the new boy, Hobbit.
Not much he can do with this, I'm afraid. It's going to be 6-1. Hobbit just trying to pick up the AK, but Device just shoots him out before he can grab it. So there we go, 6-1, but maximum loss bonus still ineffective. Voxic can still buy the orb. I'd say at this point he's almost certainly going to buy the AWP. We'll have a look, keep an eye on the bottom right. It's not super viable on the T side of Inferno in terms of having huge amounts of impact, but if Device gets a little bit too aggressive, feels too comfortable, why not? Could be the opening pick they're looking for. Zipex, great work here. The fact he stays alive for so long, finishes things off with the pistol as well. Knew he'd done enough damage there just to have a one hit, one kill. There it is, we didn't quite get that final one, but I can assure you it happened. Zonic happy with that. And Voxic orb is out, and looking to see if Device maybe is getting a little bit too carried away. He is, but on the other side of the map, this was a calling card of Device. Every round, different position, difficult to really counter him in that respect. And means you have to expend a lot of utility just in case he does appear. So, towards middle they head. And at this point, they can actually leave Device alone towards the B side of the map because once he has the orb set up at barrels, means they can have 4 players towards A. Exactly what's going in now, but HellRaisers have actually gone for a quicker approach here. May just have to extinguish those flames. Good grenade in response. Will it do a ton of damage? Not really. And May just goes down to now 0. 3 grenades in towards his position, which he plays pretty much every single round, but Dupree only good for 1. It's up to Zipex here and Glaive. Goes to the 2-on-1.
Good trades.
It's actually possible for Device here, but the fact he's so far removed from the situation, the bomb's going down, I don't think he stands much of a chance.
Yeah, good trades for HellRaisers this time as they get inside of the site. Device, he wants to take the helm toward Library. That's unsurprising with the AWP. Smoke still down, but that'll soon dissolve, and he'll have a chance. Finds a gap in it as well. Could even push through this, but he's got to be careful as it slowly does fade that he's not gray screening himself. And doing so, good find on Vox. Second player in the pit peaks, and he's not ready with the Tech 9 to respond to Dead Fox. So it will be HellRaisers picking up yet another round. Only their second.
Absolutely. Well, there we go. That 2-on-1. Just in, like, you might sound on paper, oh, Device 2-on-1. Like, surely he can pull that one off. But this is the context of the situation. The fact they've got crossfires, smoke down a Library already. He's got an AWP. It's just not looking good at all. It's difficult to get excited about the prospect of that when he doesn't really have anything to work with there. HellRaisers actually still struggling. Even with 2 players surviving and winning that round, they got 2 Galils here. The AWP, sure, but they can be reset to absolute hell here. And no pun intended there, Matt. But it's true.
They could be the Hell Sinkers.
They could be.
That one was a pun intended, and it was awful.
It wasn't the best, but not the worst. And that's always what we aim for, as long as it's not the worst.
Free. Removed completely by Issa. Got the angle on him instead. Now Device falls back inside of the pit. Playing far more passive as a result of losing that position at quad, but passive will still work to find Voxic, it seems. Gets the shot out from the hole in the wall. Hobbit gets the response getting up over top of the farmer's cart, but Majestic on his backside gives him a spanking and sends him to his room. It's going to now be Glaive inside of Moto, tagged up. He's on 35. Gets a kill, gets taken down. We're staying level. The trades are there again from HellRaisers.
Yeah, this is a bit more viable though for the retake. As you can see, the incendiary spot on. Issa has to reposition it. Takes quite a lot of damage. Oh my goodness! Zipex, that was disgusting.
I need
How
to
did he
see
pull that one
that.
off? If he did a straight up spray transfer there, that's just like godlike levels.
From that range, that
Yeah.
would be insane. I have a feeling he paused
Yeah, me
momentarily,
too.
but that's still pretty ridiculous.
If that was a sequence where he didn't stop firing, oh my god, that was just so destructive. The fact they get a bomb down, something, but HellRaisers have been reset. They can't really do much more than CZs, probably no armor. So let's have a look. So here's Zipex.
Fires one, second guy walks.
It was just crisp tapping.
But it's also like through smoke, you can barely see. He just knew that that Molotov was there. If he's going to go anywhere, he's going to run out.
Well, there you go.
These guys, they telepathically communicate. I know what your Molotov, I see what you're putting down. I'm picking it up. He's just brilliant. He's one step ahead, Zipex. It seems Dupree, he's many steps ahead of mid. Down toward the bench, in fact, gets Angel and Voxic. Jodas is sneaking in, and he goes down. Dupree turning around. Oh, nearly gets it, but looks away. It would have been a pretty swift ace to be standing in mid, dancing like that. But he does look away. It expires as a result of it with 4 kills, but Device will close it out. It's still going to be the double D and Hobbit falling.
There we have it. Oh,
He didn't get the ace. That's why he did that.
I see.
It wasn't actually just a Wookiee impression.
Wasn't a very good one.
Can you do yours?
My voice is very sore
Okay,
right now.
you're excused.
Like this, over the weekend, I was crawling through dirt, water, and all sorts of things. I'm quite ill, so I'm not going to try and risk anything. But maybe later in the week. That's Dupree getting it done, shutting it down. And I think we do have a buy here for HellRaisers, but 2 players at 3,600.
Having some fun with it.
Oh, they are buying. Tech 9 for Angel. 2 AKs out. Voxic will go without a helmets. He gets AK and just Kevlar. Bit of an issue against the M4s already. Makes him super vulnerable. Tech 9, 4 AKs. Huge advantage for Astralis here, especially in the utility game. HG's at the start, of course, as per tradition, and we do have 3 CTs ready to challenge.
Molotov goes down top side of Banana. Zipex waiting it out. Will stand on top of the sandbags. Will actually lock Dead Fox in. Angel burn. Okay, he's gotten away from it. I was going to say burning. It doesn't even matter. Zipex goes around and kills him off. Dead Fox dies to the nade as well. Zipex using utility and weapons to kill off everyone inside of Banana. They now control that portion of the map. And Voxic will hold mid.
That's weird.
Yeah, you don't even need to do that.
Yeah,
You can just drop down, but he just gets to the stairwell faster by doing it.
There you go. So again, Device, as you can see, posted up a banana for his second frag. Not going to happen though. He takes a bit of damage there. It's a 5-on-2 now. You can see on Inferno, HellRaisers seem out of their depth at this point. Smoke is just absolutely spot on. You cannot go B anymore. That's just not an option. You'd have to wait another 15 seconds. There'll be no time left. Have to go back towards middle and try your luck there in a 5-on-2. But that, they might even consider saving here.
Yeah, can't even really counter smoke that off. You could flash it maybe, but really, what's the risk? What's the point when there's two going to be there?
It's just a no-go. You know you're just walking to certain death. Might as well save the AKs, I guess. You are not going to be buying up really next round at all. You're going to get $2,400 per player. Might as well have a couple of AKs to go with it, I guess. They went no cash, though, Hobbit and Voxic. They have got a smoke and a couple of flashes if their teammates were to force buy, which I do not recommend. They could have a smoke with spawn at least at the B side of the map. We'll see if that's how it's going. But right now, basically, I'm trying to find any sort of positive signs for HellRaisers when there really aren't any. They've got 2 rounds to their name, one of which is the pistol round victory. And since then, they've just been blown out of the water, sent right back to hell.
Nice. That was a little
That was a bit better?
That was a bit better?
Bit better?
Yeah, I like it. I like
Right.
it. My favorite puns, I think, this year are from Will Buxton.
Okay.
And he's talking about the Haas team all the time. A catastrophe.
I don't know. Is that like
It's
an
a Formula
esport
One.
thing? Okay,
Formula One,
right.
Don't worry about it. You're supposed to know these things, Henry.
I should
It's
do
why
by
our
now.
relationship is
Haas,
failing.
Haas is like not on my radar at all.
It's fine. They're
I used to watch F1 when I was like, maybe my friends were into it when I was like 15. I knew a bit then, but I have not kept up since.
it's fine. I take offense to it, but we'll be okay.
Like, it's up to you to educate me, really.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, all right. Next season, I'll wake you up in the ungodly hours of the night to
It's
watch the races
starting.
with me.
The Asian Grand Prix is kicking off. Let's go. All right.
The Asian Grand Prix.
Whatever it's called, you know.
You got China, you got Japan. You used
the
to have
Japanese
Malaysia.
one. Japanese one.
All right, that's fair.
I want to go. Let's go there. Buy tickets. Well,
There's also going to be a Vietnam Grand Prix soon.
okay. Sounds
Buy
cool.
tickets. You want to go there now. So
Yeah,
originally it was going to be a hotel.
I want to
Okay.
go for the whole experience.
Okay.
With beer hats,
Yeah, I'm down.
beach chairs.
You know my massive camera bag?
Yes.
We're going on a bit of a tangent. It's ridiculously large. It looks like a Deliveroo bag, for those of you who don't know. I took all the camera gear out of it when I went to the Montreal Grand Prix last time and just filled it with like 32 beer.
That's the way to do it.
It was pretty sick.
Can't go wrong.
No, it was pretty epic.
Wow.
It's 3 of us.
This can go wrong for HellRaisers, though, because they have full sport. This is like, for me, at this point at least, this is purely my opinion. They don't win this round, like this ain't happening for them. This is going to be a blowout. They won't get much more than 3 rounds, maybe. So they've taken a huge risk. 2 AKs, 3 pistols, and they've got a bit of utility. But the way Astralis are playing right now, and how solid they look with their rotations and opening kills, I just don't think there's much of a chance with 2 AKs to do it. But Hobbit and Voxic, the 2 strongest fraggers arguably on the team. Let's see what they can do.
Glaive ready, top banana. Voxic hoping to be flashed around the corner, perhaps. He's even telling a teammate, please let's stand here. Let me boost. Couldn't find the shot. Thanks for standing there. For the 1 second that I needed you.
Look how brutal that smoke
38
is.
seconds is. They've got a smoke down already.
Again, funnel back towards A. They can't do anything with it.
And there's 10 players alive, 32 seconds. It seemed like the first bit of that round, although we were going off on a tangent, nothing was really accomplished during that time. So now, as you're right, they're forced back over toward A. You've already got a cheating rotation, as I call it, where Zipix is kind of halfway there. He's on Speedway, aptly named, so he can get quickly from either site. And then Device, aware that they're now on A, so they call for that. They're 1 step ahead, but just straight forward, spraying in. Device hits the last shot as well.
How does he get 3? He plays the same position every round. No one seems to be able to get him out of there, though. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's really figured out how to be defensive there. The smoke is so ready to throw it every time they Molotov. Maybe it's nade stack?
Well, but the thing is that people Molotov him out, he just smokes every time. But yes, they killed him earlier. The only round they got, remember, they threw 3 grenades in that position and killed him. That was the only round they've got since the pistol when they did that. So yes, you can do that, but you're very vulnerable with 3 grenades out to get in that position.
If anyone peeks during that time, you're going to have problems.
And the fact you to save 3 HEs just for that play doesn't really seem viable. But there it is. Like I said, if HellRaisers didn't pick that round up, or at least get a bomb plant down, I just don't see this half doing anything for them. Won the pistol, won a single scrappy round since then, and now Zipex and co just going to town on them as they get the first bit. They've got banana control, smoke at T-steps. What are you going to do? Sit back and wait, I'm afraid.
Glaive gets toward the tree, but gets tagged up and spotted in the process, so now needs a little bit of support from Zipix. doesn't. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've lied to you. I have. I'm extremely sorry for being misleading.
Well, there it is. Now he needs a bit of help. It was just a matter of time. And Zipex will provide it. So there you go. It's all fine in the end. 4 survive for Astralis. Doesn't really matter at this point. They've got 2 players at 16k, basically 3 with Device and 14. As we get into round number 14 here, it's not the crescendo I was looking for, this best of 3. I was looking for another hard-hitting game, close scoreline, amazing clutches. We were treated to that. The second map especially was unbelievably good. Dust 2 was a lot of fun to watch. This one, although you have to appreciate the finesse of Astralis and how good they are in Inferno, you would expect a bit more from HellRaisers here. But if they can get the 11-4, not all is lost. We'll see what they can do.
He just got down around the Molotov already. Oh, gets absolutely removed, though, by Foxic. And he's not done there. He's going to push back up. Flash over, not quite. He just wants to take a straight fight. Device hit his teammate through the wall. Glaive's got 2 more.
That's insane. Okay, it's all gone wrong. They got the first pick, and all of a sudden it's a 4-on-1 against them.
And the bomb at the bottom of the stairs. No one looking down mid as of yet. It looked like Device was going to take that stance, but Angel will be sitting considering, what the hell do I have to do to win on this half? It's going to be 12-2. Goes back for the bomb. Does consider that Device could be in that position. Flash over. He wants to peek it. Angel seemed ready and poised with that crosshair placement on the AK. Not an easy thing to do, but the longer he takes to fire this shot, 56 seconds, the more they'll push down both ult mid and banana. And here comes Dupree. Oh, he's going to knife too. He's let his teammate die. And now Angel starts to move away. Dupree, he should have taken the shot when he had it. Look, they're even trying to bait him. They're even like, come on, man, hurry up. Oh, he's figured it out.
Dear.
He's figured it out. It was like Valen's in the show match that time that I killed him. That
Exactly.
one thing I did.
That's what I was
Angel,
thinking.
he's actually got a chance at this, you know. He's got a one-on-one inside of B. If he'd taken down Zipix, he could have easily gotten the bomb down. I think they were a little bit too
Sonic's not
zealous
happy
on that
about
one.
it. He's like, all right, boys, you had your fun now. That
Yeah,
is it.
get it over with. Stay disciplined here, boys.
Yeah, I don't care if you're having a good time. That's not what it's about. We're here to lift trophies and get $1 million. Let's stop messing around. That's what I'd be saying at least now. In a light-hearted sort of way, I say, right, that's it. That's the end now.
Yep, this is it. He figured it out. Dupree was behind because why would the player at the top of middle not take the fight?
Hello.
Ooh. This is not happy at all. Or Boxic, excuse me. Issa, I'm confusing the two of them. Yeah, it is Issa. I know Boxic. I had a great storytelling time with him in the cab in Malta. It's actually a good story. I'll tell you later. You should get him to tell you, actually.
Okay.
It's a great
I
story.
fist bump him every time I see him. I don't know him that well, but
He's a cool guy.
I'll ask him. Well, round 15 and a fast play, why not? Nothing's worked so far for HellRaisers. Just going to get stuck in here. They lose another frag, but still a 4-on-4. They've got presence towards Arch and a kill as well. There we go. It seems like they just have to throw caution to the wind.
What's the key again, though? Magisk was down, right? They could actually open up the site. They had the confidence to do so, knowing that he wasn't going to dismantle them entirely, and Issa closes it out. So 12-3 is the final score. Issa still doesn't look super pleased. Looks very stressed, if I were to say anything. Even Angel's looking over at him, wondering if we can fix that. 12-3 seems to be a score that oftentimes can be fixed. Certainly in the old meta and the old money, but an incredible half from Astralis, and a best of 3 that might be going their way inevitably at this point. We'll see if there's a response. Coming up next, don't forget, it's Liquid and Big.
That is going to be a hell of a game as well. That could go the full distance. Also, we will see. I don't think this one will be Astralis with 12-3 lead. They're actually arguably better on their T side sometimes. Unbelievably good. We'll see the buys come through. You can see the highlights of mainly Magisk, Frags, and Pip. Here are the scores as Device and Zipex at the top there with 14 and 15 kills respectively. It's Device with 97 ADR though. See Issa, you can see why he's frustrated. When you've got Issa and Voxic down there with 9 frags between them, this has not gone well for you. Those are your 2 star players. You need them firing all cylinders, hitting the shots and getting you entries, and they just got nothing from it. The AWP wasn't really present, and that's understandable on the T side of Inferno, but still, if you're the star player, you need to deliver against teams like Astralis, like they did in the first map on Mirage. It looked excellent. Still some smiling faces, though. They're not going to be eliminated from the tournament, just a note. So, not a huge deal. They kind of come into this expecting to be Astralis in the best of 3, to be fair. The fact they took a map and gave them a run for their money on the second is already excellent. Shame it didn't really go that well in the third, but still a very small chance there. They'll play the hearts out and see what they can do. 4 sets of armor, Dead Fox with the kits and a couple of flashes. And there is an HE for Glaive, so they might be experimenting towards B as well. There's a bit of CT presence there as Device opens things up there. That's Voxic taken down by the PT-50. May just guarantee the frag at that point. Angel trying to get it back, but not going to happen. He gets dropped. And at this point, Astralis don't have to commit. They can wait to get all 5 players here, but they will go in one by one. There's no trade straight away. Dead Fox is a brave play, maybe a stupid one, I would say, at that point, because nothing could be done. His teammate couldn't join him, and that's going to be the round. Hobbit, at this point.
1 HP.
Yeah, Device should finish him out.
Oh, headshot's possible. I thought he was going to get it there when he slid underneath.
They tried to flash over and get the response in, but unfortunately, going one by one wasn't ever really going to work out for them. Oh well, 13-3, and presumably the force buy coming in.
Jonta sat at this point in time. Not looking so elated with the results of this particular map after the course the series was on. As you said, we were treated to some excellent games in the first two. Very back and forth affairs, lots of fragging potential, and certainly lots of exchanges that were awkward but exciting. Now we find ourselves with anything but.
Force buy has to be really. They need something to go in their favor. There's the first kill. It's a start. It will cost them 95 HP on Hobbits, and there's another kill here, presumably. There it is. It will be Dupree to go down. Good positioning from that 5-7. This up. Does damage to a third as well, but couldn't quite get the kill. 13-3. Astralis win this. That's pretty much GG. But 4-3 now. It's going to take some work, and they've only got one rifle to do it with.
Rotate back around to the quad side. Zipic's still up in Graveyard. Could catch off Angel. This is a good position. Great position for it to be in that far inside of the site at that point in the round. But the fact that Voxic retook top middle, wrapped around behind him was a problem because he never would have expected it. Take it out as a result. Looked like everything was going to be so good on that positioning, but smoke down again in front of Banana for Glaive to deal with. That's a problem. But he throws one out towards CT at the same time, meaning he's also, when theirs dissolves, won't have any left over to reposition that. As such, they'd have vision and a crossfire. That's all too easy. 37 seconds, and bomb to be picked up once more. Did they go back looking potentially for utility? Either way, they are going to head toward B.
Do what they can. This is the lifeline for HellRaisers. 20 seconds remaining. Chances of Astralis pulling this one back are reducing by the second. They have not got a smoke to actually get across to the site. But that might not be a huge deal here. We'll see. Glaive does make it across. 9 seconds to even plant here. That's not going to happen. They haven't checked the position. And it will be Dead Fox to strike and confirm the round. Might even get both kills here. As he knows he can't plant anymore, he can now safely peek. Takes that Magisk as well. So, some life in the HellRaisers yet. 13-4. And presumably Astralis would eco here. We'll see, though. Don't have to force buy, but they could if they really wanted to go for the Deagle armor.
I'd like to see them go for the save on it. Stay disciplined, show that they mean business. No more fooling around, as Zonic was very clear on that. Okay, they are going to go for a bit more of an aggressive purchase than I perhaps would have anticipated. So it will be Deagles, it will be armor to go along with it, but only in 3 of 5 cases. One case to Breeze does not have armor, and in one case for Zipix, he doesn't either, but he has a CZ. He's the one that leads the charge, gets toward the apartment entry at this point. Great damage early on as well against Voxic, so he's got to be careful retreating. That's the shot exactly that would have cost him. With that low HP, Zipix is able to line that up, anticipate he was rotating back toward Library, and gets the kill. Comes at a fairly free cost, as well as Dupree's damage came from the initial exchange. Ooh, Device takes out Hobbit to try to deploy a smoke, and now Dupree's at the wall. It's happening.
Yep, well, they didn't even force into this. It's just a bit of a partial buy, and the Deagle shots land. We always talk about Dupree and his Deagle, always going to be deadly. And it will be 14-4. Nothing they can do about this. It's a disappointing finish there for HellRaisers. And they're going to try and hold on to the AK and the FAMAS. That's if it's possible. You can see there are players encroaching on their position now, even more so. Issa left, he's at the graveyard / pit. That's going to be quite obvious at this point. It's one of the most common save points on this map. Grenades coming in. Issa can only really try and hold on to the weapon at this stage. If they remove it from his hands, great. They are going to really push the issue in that respect, and it will be Glaive to get the final kill there, the wallbang of the Deagle, and they take all of them down, and that is quite the harsh reset. Should be 15-4 here. They're going to have to force buy again. MP9s, UMPs, Deagles. It's Dead Fox looking poised still. They've got a lot of work to do in this particular round, but it's always possible. Here's Zipex. Oh god, the low HP Voxic didn't stand a chance.
Yeah. Poor Hobbit. I almost want to think that I think I'm overreading it. It looked like his own nade kind of slowed him down, but I think it's because he was tagged as he deployed the nade, but it looked like he blocked himself in a weird way. I don't think it's possible. Illusion to the eye, at least. Nonetheless, good start. Device, Magisk, they each find kills. Angel got one back against Dupree on the SMG, but he got removed immediately thereafter. Voxic's not really been in the equation, but he will now as he tries to peek out from the half wall. Smoke down, small gap in it. Extinguishes the flames immediately. Leaves a smaller gap this time. Can't quite go for the same one way as previously available.
Well, Angel,
This could catch them off.
it's going to have to be a hell of a play here. And not one that's going to be realized. So they know where Voxic is at least. And they're just going to book it towards the A site. And that's going to have, or leave 2 CTs towards the other side of the map. No chance here but to save an MP9 and an AK, I would say. I guess you might as well go for it at this point. It's going to be series point for Astralis. And you need 11 rounds in a row. Are they just going to straight up save and see what they can do? I'm not so sure. It looks like, well, Voxic and T-Spawn is a player of the MP9 trying to farm some cash. If he gets a couple of kills, that would be something at least. He holds up, waiting for Astralis to retreat.
So, series point for Astralis achieved. Means that they can wrap this up. They'll, if I'm not mistaken, have a day off as well. HellRaisers will play again in a decider matchup. Magisk goes out through the apartments. That is where the SMG was, so we'll see if he can find anything. He seems to be comfortable on the 570. Spotted Magisk, though, by the bomb. Was tagged low enough that even with that information, you could see his hesitation got taken down. But it may not matter because there's not going to be a lot of guns for HellRaisers, and as we said, Astralis now on map point.
Map points and money broken. HellRaisers really don't stand much of a chance here. We will see what they can do. A mixture of pistols, SMGs, a couple of rifles in the form of a FAMAS and an AK-47. That's in the hands of Voxic, and he's on 7 and 13. Issa is 7 and 15. Those are the 2 star players, absolutely non-existent on Inferno. And credit to Astralis there, they shut down that potential as Voxic tries to find the first, continues to struggle as he goes down initially here. It looks like we might be done. As it goes 5 on 4, good grenade. Hobbit, you look like you're about to be punished at this point as well. And that should be, I'm not sure there's much chance of even a kill at this point. 5 on 2, man. Take us home.
Device with one more. That puts it down to Angel. So we are certainly done at this point. He tries to swing back through the A site bomb. It's going to go over toward B. They've already pushed all the way in. Device at CT, closing down the map slowly. And Dupree waiting for the chance to just punish the final kill. He would love that chance. He's going to get it on the AK-47. Astralis showing off masterclass on Inferno. It was a slow start into the series. They got beat 16-8, but Dust 2 turned things around, and once again, they remain the Astralis that we know.
Absolutely so. But if you're HellRaisers, I don't think that's the right mentality. You should be thinking that this is the world's best team. No one thought we'd even come close to taking a map of them. They completely bombarded them on Mirage. They looked like they were the better team on the server. Great game on Dust 2 as well. Sure, they didn't beat them on Inferno or even stand a chance, but that's one of the best Astralis maps possible. I feel like this is promising signs for HellRaisers. And as we said, they've always been quite plucky at getting in towards the top 8. There's going to be teams that are going to falter to these guys.
I think as well, this looks much better than what we saw even in Malta from them to start things off with Halbert coming in. And I think that there's a good point about him being introjected into this lineup and not yet having a boot camp. So they should be proud of what they did. I think Voxic probably a little bit disappointed because of the way he started the series. He was remarkable in map 1, and then it kind of slipped away from him. But like you say, don't hang their heads too low. They've got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for the prospect, what this team holds in the future. Maybe not so much in this tournament, but it's good foundations to build upon. Either way, Matthew, I think that's us done. We'll throw it over to the lovely analyst and see what they thought of the match.
Appreciate it, guys. Yes, it's done and dusted. This best of 3 did go to all 3 maps, and Astralis were tested just a little bit, but you wouldn't know it by the scores and the outcome of that last map. Guys, where do we begin to start here, and why was it such a landslide on this 3rd map?
I said I didn't think it was possible for Astralis to come out in 16 won them. It was close enough.
Close.
Maybe they heard me, but the fact of the matter is all the individuals whose aim appeared to be lacking in the previous games in the moments that it felt like Astralis weren't themselves, they all just turned up and used it as a bit of aim practice, it felt like. Sure, they were still playing within the Astralis way. They were doing all the things that they normally do, but every little move that HellRaisers went to make, like Banana is such like a checkmate position, right? All right, they use their utility, now HellRaisers throw back theirs. Well, Astralis still had utility in reserve, so they're always one step ahead in almost every occasion, and this one was just a quickie.
And I definitely agree, and that was exactly the point I was trying to make. Inferno is one of those maps where even if you're not on point with your aim, some of those kills they got were easy kills, just because of the utility. You face a guy with 30 HP or you face a guy with 20 HP, that kill is not hard to get even though your aim is not on point.
Yeah, and I guess at this point it became kind of a shooting gallery for the likes of Astralis. We got to see definitely some eco round pushes where they felt like they had this completely in the bag. I think we saw Device catching just a slew of HellRaisers there on a T ramp. Not necessarily something you would always see.
Nah, there's not much to say about this game, I'd say. I think they just got outclassed, basically, you know, in every aspect of the game. The majority of that being the nade game, the utility game, and the fact that just they didn't have any answer to what Astralis came with. It didn't seem like HellRaisers prepared something in particular to go up against what Astralis showed.
There was only one 1vx situation in the entire game, right? And I don't even really remember it standing out, and that's because it was a 2-on-1 advantage situation for HellRaisers, and Dead Fox was able to find the final kill. So when you think about that, you know, it's not a very tight game at all. There aren't rounds that are scrappy, there aren't rounds that are clutch or pivot rounds to maybe bolster the economy or potentially where they could have broken Astralis. There was just nothing that HellRaisers were able to throw at them. But I guess if we look more at the series as a whole, like Henry and Matt were just touching on there, it was a good showing. Like, sure, they did have all of the stars aligning in the sense of, you know, Voxic had a fantastic first game. It's a map where, you know, it's towards the bottom of Astralis' map pool in terms of, you know, how convincingly they can win of Mirage. And Dust 2 was another map that they were hugely competitive on. So HellRaisers should be happy with how far, considering the just recent addition of Hobbit, how far they were able to push a team like Astralis, even though Zonic did say today felt a little bit weird. It was a bit of an off day.
Well, maybe we'll get the chance to hear from them again. In fact, we have James Banks on the sideline with the winners of that matchup. Let's go ahead and check in with him right about now.
Astralis managed to get it done, closing out on Inferno 2-1, but Inferno very convincing. I'm going to go back a little bit first, though. Spoke to Zonic, and he said, obviously, on the first map, it was a little bit shaky for you guys, kind of warming up into it. Then going into Dust 2, a lot more confident, I'd say, coming out from you guys, and Dust 2's a map you guys and HellRaisers both play. Were you kind of aware of some of, like, the little changes they've had since Hobbit, considering they played in Malta?
I think they have been looking pretty good since they got Hobbit, actually. We didn't have too much to look into because they only played like 12 maps before us. So I think they're a quite good team. I think they're only getting better now. I think it's nice to see them do much better right now.
Now, Inferno, very dominant, but they haven't played it much with this new roster. So were you guys just fully confident, just play your own game and kind of just do what you did to them, destroy them?
Yeah, I must admit we were a bit worried if you should pick Dust 2 or if we should go for the pick of Inferno, but we were thinking a little bit going into later in the tournament. We wanted to have some more confidence on Dust 2, and I think we learned a lot of stuff, actually. So we need to play it a bit more, I believe, to get really comfortable on again and get it to one of the maps that we can pick when the other team is banning Nuke against us. So that is why we went with the Dust 2 pick. And also, HellRaisers has been looking really good in Inferno. So yeah, I was really happy that we managed to pull that through, and I think we won like 16-4 in the end.
They're looking really good right now. Now, one thing I've got to ask as well, Intel Grand Slam, right? This could be your one to do it. You think it's going to happen?
I'm not sure. I hope so. Like, it will be so amazing for us and will really end the year in such a great way for us. We're fighting everything we can to take the trophy home, but maybe some team will have a really good day and they will beat us. You'll never know.
Hey, I like it. Very honest. Thank you very much, Glaive. Appreciate it. Let's see if they can get it done. They've managed to jump over the first hurdle.
Yes, a really good day is probably what it would take to beat up on an Astralis, especially one that came alive there in the last map of Inferno. Guys, let's wrap out this best of three in its whole and kind of send it down the river.
I think just generally speaking, it's good to see Astralis wake up in the late stages. Obviously, Mirage was a shock to everybody. I don't think I'm not taking anything away from HellRaisers. They played fantastically well. But I had only put a handful of teams who were even able to take maps off Astralis. And the fact HellRaisers did that was very impressive.
If anything, this is something Mousesports, the likes of Mousesports, the likes of Na'Vi and potentially Liquid would like to see. They can see, you know, this Mirage was not a strong showing by Astralis. So maybe there's something we can, you know, try to bully a little bit going into a potential best of 3 scenario or best of 5 in a final.
Well, with the conclusion of that best of 3, it does send the HellRaisers down in the brackets. They're not out of the tournament yet. In fact, they're going to be squared up to play against the winner of G2 and INTZ. Now, that one's going on right now over on the B stream, and they're just about ready to get that second map underway. I do believe G2's winning the first one 16-6. So, guys, do you have any thoughts on that before we go to a break?
Nope. It's quite interesting to see G2 winning, with 2 stand-ins, I would say. It's potentially the last game for Existence and Smith, ever for this lineup, so there's something to be said about that.
Something to say about that, Chad?
No is all I want to say about the teams who are playing in that matchup right now.
Cool, man. So we're going to be going to our next break, and that's going to bring us to our next matchup on the other side of it, a best of 3 between Liquid and Big here at the ESL Pro League Season 8 Finals. Make sure you're here with us when we come back.